Theresa Tam is finally admitting that she was wrong about not closing the Canadian border. But what will be the consequences for her deadly bad advice? It is well past time to fire Theresa Tam. Canada's Chief Public Health Officer, Dr. Theresa Tam, has finally admitted she failed to protect Canadians and that she made bad decisions, but only sort of. She made the admission during a health committee appearance on Tuesday night. This is the report of the committee meeting in Blacklock's today. Cabinet waited too long to close the nation's borders, Chief Public Health Officer Dr. Theresa Tam last night told the Commons Health Committee. Tam acknowledged foreign visitors should have been prohibited long before Cabinet restricted travel. I think that in hindsight, yes, I think people could act faster and maybe in the future we will take different decisions, said Tam. The Chief Public Health Officer did not acknowledge the Cabinet had acted on her advice. Cabinet did not ban foreign air passengers from landing in Canada under the Aeronautics Act until March 18th, a week after the World Health Organization declared a global pandemic. Cabinet closed the Canada-US border to non-essential travel on March 21, a ban that remains in place, and did not invoke the Quarantine Act on visitors until March 26th. The virus itself traveled across the world very fast, said Dr. Tam. Yeah, it was on airplanes. At that time, because there were very few cases, we were doing incremental measures. In retrospect, and maybe looking forward, the world might be a very different place in terms of whether this kind of measure is enacted, said Tam. So we will learn. Oh no, Dr. Tam, we don't need to learn anything. We all knew that if the disease was spreading because it was coming in with infected travelers on airplanes, which it was, that closing the border would stop that problem in its tracks. We knew it. The Canadian public knew it. Yet when the Canadian public brought it up, Tam scolded them as racist on Twitter. The Ministry of Health, as late as February 17th, dismissed border closures as pointless. Actually, we have a clip of the health minister saying just that. Just watch.
The long-term implications of shutting down borders is one, they're not very effective in controlling disease, as in fact, they're not effective at all. And secondly, they actually long-term can create a greater risk to global public health.
Tam's officials also removed any reference to China from the health information given to international arrivals in Canadian airports. That was revealed in an earlier exclusive investigation into health committee meetings by us here at Rebel News. And despite reports that the border is closed, flights from mainland China arrive daily at Toronto's Pearson International Airport. If Dr. Tam had any shame and felt any real responsibility for her bad calls and deadly advice that she gave to Canadians and the Cabinet, she would resign and go away forever, never showing her face ever again. But if she had any shame, she wouldn't also work for the China-centric World Health Organization as one of the 7 members of the World Health Organization's Oversight Committee, legitimizing CCP lies about the coronavirus. But Tam still does, even though 194 countries led by President Trump are calling for an investigation into the failures of the World Health Organization to protect the world from Chinese misinformation about the disease. Instead, the World Health Organization became the spokespeople for Chinese misinformation, a puppet of the Chinese government, as Trump puts it. And if the World Health Organization was a puppet of China, then surely Tam, in her role on the Oversight Committee, was a puppet of China too. Sorry, but we don't need a puppet of China in charge of pandemic response here in Canada. If Tam won't do the right thing and quit, then she must be fired. To sign our petition calling on the government to fire Theresa Tam, please go to firetam.com. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. Dr. Theresa Tam's one and only job is to prepare Canadians for a pandemic. She failed, and she admitted she failed by giving the Cabinet bad advice to not close the borders to international travelers. For that, she must be fired. To sign our petition calling on the government to fire Theresa Tam, please go to firetam.com.